Game day post-game show brought to you by Frank Good Builders. Liberty puts up a win in the season and home opener 28-7 over the Maine Black Bears. Offensively, they left a little bit to be desired in the first three quarters, but defensively, DJ, they came in as advertised.
Man, they came correct. They played really hard today. If you take away that 77-yard run, the long run, they held to the offense to about 240 yards. And so there was a few standout players, especially C.J. Brazil, with 6 tackles and 1.5 sacks. So a lot there you can take from this game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited by it. Some timely turnovers, getting pressure. We saw the strip sack, we saw the interception. Thankfully, they came out ready to play in the second half.
A fumble recovery for this unit, an interception as well. Limited Maine to 132 passing yards, which I think previously they were susceptible to the pass. Today it seemed like the run gouged them a bit.
That's right. And I was a little concerned about the defensive line because we came in talking about the depth of the defensive line, but they actually look a little tired. They look like they were getting gashed a little bit there, but they locked down, and I really applaud the defensive coordinator to make adjustments in the second half. They really shut them down.
Yeah, Coach Chadwell, I'm sure, happy with how his defense played, and he is standing by with Annette Corey.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the season opening win. First off, how would you grade your quarterback, Ethan Vasco's performance?
You know what? I think he got better as the game went on. I think he had a little bit of nervousness. In the first half, we settled him down. He settled down. He kept our guys calm. And there in the second half, I think we played way better. He took care of the ball and put us in a position to win. So I know he can improve, and I know he'll tell you he wishes he played better in some ways, but I think he did a nice job.
Your defense holds Maine to 7 points. What elements on that side of the ball were you pleased with?
I think we really did a good job of just of swarming the football and putting a lot of bodies to tackle it. I think, and we never broke. Like when they had the one play, but every time after that they got down there, we either had a turnover or had a fourth down stop or forced them to punt. So I thought our defense played pretty good overall. There's some areas that we got to get better at.
Thank you, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Flames.
Yeah, the D held strong, and that would eventually lead us to our Central Virginia Credit Union highlight of the game. Evan Dickens, a catch out of the backfield, and he would find Pater.
Yeah, the birthday boy, rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. Glad to see him get the ball out there on the edge. I'm happy for him. Birthday touch. You can't ask for anything more than birthday touchdown.
Yeah, I was excited to see him get the rock. I was surprised he didn't get more of it in the first half. But I remember watching that game at live, and he got around the 7-yard line. I'm like, oh, he's about to get tackled at maybe the 5 or the 4. He turned on the jets. He pressed the X button, that you do with the video game to get that turbo and got into the end zone. That is pure talent. That is speed that you can't teach.
DJ, I think a couple of times like a big play would go down, and then I get this text like I was waiting for that to happen.
Well, preparing for this game, he was one of those players that I thought would be a difference maker. Transfer from Georgia Tech. He's got a ton of talent, played at IMG Academy, so he's got the pedigree, and I was surprised he didn't get more touches, but I think he may now.
Yeah, big day for him. Great to see him make an impact, and he is standing by with Annie Corey as well.
Well, first off, Evan, happy birthday. A great way to spend your big day. So running the football, it took you guys a little bit to get going. Explain to me the mentality of that running back room as the game went on.
Yeah, we have a mentality here called strike the stone. So whenever things get hard, we kind of just keep falling back to our training and keep just pounding the rock like we always know how to do.
That running back room has a lot of talent. How much have you guys pushed each other all throughout fall camp and even up to here where you're in the regular season?
Yeah, we're a really tight group. We like to hang out outside the room. We push each other every day in practice. If someone makes a mistake, we're encouraging them to get back in that play and do better. So, it's a great room, really encouraging, and that just helps you push you to another level.
Well, thank you. Congrats on the win. Happy birthday. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
Oh, he in that running back room made the rushing yards for Liberty look a lot better than they did early on in the game. This is part of our Bojangles game stats. 194 rushing yards. Early on, didn't look like that was going to be the case, but then they got going really in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they really did. The number that I really like is that third down, 11 for 19, 57%. That'll be best in the country if they can sustain that this year.
If you compare it to last year, when the Liberty offense averaged 251 rushing yards per game, that's why we feel the way that we feel about this game right now, because of the standard that has been set the last 2 years. But at the end of the day, 194 yards is very impressive, and it was running back by committee. You didn't know who was going to be the star. But they came in and put up some good numbers.
Is there a running back in your mind other than Dickens that kind of proved his worth today?
Oh, Kaden. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think he would start, first of all, but he really showed that he was a powerful back. I saw him drag defenders, which was very impressive. He's only a redshirt freshman. And so, they talked about him possibly, filling in for Cooley. I don't know who can do that, but he impressed me today.
Yeah, I like Juju Gray. You like the bruiser. I like the guy on the edge. So they got him the ball in a number of ways, catching the ball, a couple around the end sweeps. I'm excited to see how they continue to leverage these guys moving forward this year.
Let's take a look here. Kaden Williams is on the day, the freshman coming in. Obviously, a lot of hype around him last year, redshirting. Today comes in, and he really was the answer in between the tackles early on and for the most part of this game.
Yeah, it was good to see him get it going, 5.8 yards. Kind of that bruiser. Again, he's a patient runner. He won't beat Quentin Cooley, but, he can grow into that role.
Another thing we haven't said yet, no turnovers, no fumbles at all. And I think that's a really big deal for this running back committee. Normally, if you're a running back, you want to get 20 carries so you can get a rhythm and keep it going. But you had fresh people come in and out, and there were no turnovers, no big mistakes by them.
Yeah, I was impressed to see, because early on, Ethan Vasco, and I know you were pretty high on him coming in this game. Let me let you kind of set the stage here for Ethan Vasco. I was impressed, though, no interceptions, because some of those balls were floating on him a little bit. But you like the pedigree that this guy brings in.
Yeah, absolutely. Talked about in the pregame, he's from the 757, so we saw him a lot. But today he played really well. He didn't throw a lot of passes high, but he settled down. And at the end of the day, you look at his stat line, it's a phenomenal stat line. We would all take that, but we're comparing him to Salter and Malik Willis and Buckshot, Calvert before that, and the long list of great quarterbacks who have put up great numbers. But he settled down. He had some really good throws. Some of his best throws were third down conversions. I remember those. And, of course, he had the two passes in the end zone, at the corner of the end zone that were really fine-tuned catches that were made by the receivers.
And one of those went to a number 9, Pat.
All great receivers for the number 9.
I feel like I'm hearing you double as you say that. Another aspect of this game, Christian Thomas cannot leave today without talking about him. Great game. Led the team in tackles. No, third on the team in tackles a year ago. Off the bat here, it looks like he's going to lead the team this season. They spoke highly of him coming into this game, and he showed why. He was all over the field.
That's right. The next closest defensive player in tackles was 5 tackles behind him. I mean, he played a heck of a game. He was all over the place. They've got a star there that they can build that defense around.
Yeah, did a really good job. We mentioned in the pregame show, you lose your entire starting defensive line. He stepped up big time, so he had to do it. He was shedding blocks all night. Major kudos on the 14 tackles.
Yeah, big game for him. All right, let's look at our Courtyard upcoming schedule for the Flames. On the road for a pair of games now as they head to take on Jacksonville State. Now, Jacksonville State just lost a close one to UCF. Their D looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I don't want to alarm Flame fans, but given how today went, I'm a little bit anxious for what that game looks like against Jacksonville State.
I wonder who's going to be favored in this game after the prognosticators look at both games. You got a lot of new players for Jack State. I think they have 23 total players, transfers and rookies. You got a new coach. You got a new system. Man, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one to watch. Flames then at Bowling Green, return home September 20th to take on JMU. That game is sold out. So the only way to get in here is to buy a season ticket. That's going to be a fun contest.
Do you think you could let me in the gate? I don't want to pay for it. Pay for a ticket.
I feel like we can get you in here.
Thank goodness.
Pretty well. Obviously we talked about the Flames' offensive struggles through the first 3 quarters, but in the fourth quarter, I do have to say, it felt like they kind of finally, and it took a long time, settled in. Vasco looked a lot better under center, much calmer, threw some great balls, and it just seemed a lot more organic, if you will, at that point.
Yeah, that's right. They really came on, and I think the adjustments that were made in the second half, you really saw that materialize and more points being scored. And again, we have to talk about how the ball was spread around. You had every touchdown was a different player. You don't have a clear-cut star player, but you've got a lot of good players who played today. You want to have a balanced team like that, and around Vasco, I think you can do that. I do want to say that the option did not work today.
No,
there was only one option play, where I think they got more than 5 yards. So they really need to look at the execution on that. I think it could have been Vasco at certain times. He was too wide and should have been more downfield first at that DN. And so I hope they fix that.
Yeah, lots to work on as they prepare for 9:20, or actually next week, that is. But 9:20, next time they are back here at home taking on JMU. Flame Central Game Day will be airing at 5 p.m. that day. Make sure you tune in. Once again, Liberty takes this one 28-7 over the Maine Black Bears. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night, and God bless.